right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on a pretty amazing journey, deep inside your own body to track the secret life of protein right after you eat it. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? You eat that meal for energy, to build muscle, to stay healthy, but the process is so much more wild and complicated than you think. It's not just a one-way street to your biceps. It's this incredible story of breakdown, redistribution, and even detoxification. So our story kicks off the second that protein from your plate hits your digestive system. And the very first step is all about disassembly. You can think of it like taking apart a really complex Lego model. See, your body can't use the whole finished model. It needs the individual bricks to build its own stuff. Those bricks, those are the amino acids. And once they're broken free, they get absorbed right into your bloodstream, ready and waiting for their new assignments. Okay, so where do all these little amino acid bricks go? Well, they don't just drift around hoping for the best. Nope, they all report for duty at a kind of central hub. And we call this hub the amino acid pool. It's basically the body's central supply depot for all its amino acids. It's this constantly shifting reservoir filled up by the food you just ate and also by recycling old proteins from your own body. And it's from this pool that every single amino acid gets called up for a very specific and usually very vital job. So what's assignment number one? Well, it's a constructive one, building pretty much everything that makes you, well, you. Scientists call this the anabolic, or the building up pathway. And what's really amazing here is the sheer variety of things we build. We're not just talking about muscle tissue. These same amino acids become the enzymes that drive your metabolism, the hormones like insulin that send critical signals, the neurotransmitters like serotonin that regulate your mood, even the very pigment that gives your skin and hair its color. Take this, for example. A simple amino acid gets transformed through a few chemical steps into adrenaline. You know that incredible rush you feel when you're startled or in an emergency? That's protein metabolism, right there, getting your body ready for action. But wait, there's more. Those exact same building blocks can also be turned into something totally different but just as crucial, creatine. This is like a high-octane energy reserve stored in your muscles, giving them that instant burst of power you need for heavy lifting or sprinting. And it all starts with those amino acids from the pool. Amino acids also play defense. Here, you can see 3 of them linking up to form glutathione, which is one of the body's most powerful antioxidants. It's like a bodyguard for your cells, protecting them from damage. So you've got building, energy, and defense all coming from that same central pool. Pretty incredible, right? But what happens if you eat more protein than you actually need for all these building projects? See, your body can't store extra amino acids the way it stores fat or carbs, and this surplus creates a really serious problem. It generates a toxic waste product. This is where things get a little dangerous. So to break down these extra amino acids, your body uses 2 main tricks. The first one, transamination, is basically a safe swap. It just passes the nitrogen part of the amino acid over to another molecule. No big deal. But the second one, deamination, that's much more aggressive. It literally rips that nitrogen group right off, releasing it as free ammonia. And that is a big problem because ammonia is extremely toxic to us. Now, here's a cool clinical connection for you. Those safe swapping reactions are done by special enzymes like ALT, which is mostly in the liver, and AST, which you find in the liver and muscles. Normally, these enzymes stay inside the cells, but if your liver or muscles get damaged, they start to leak out into your blood. That's why doctors run a simple blood test for ALT and AST levels. It's a direct signal that there might be some tissue injury going on. So let's get back to the main point here. Deamination, the process for getting rid of extra amino acids, creates ammonia. And this isn't a small issue, it's a major metabolic threat. If this stuff is allowed to build up in your system, it can cause severe damage, and your brain is particularly vulnerable. So how on earth does the body deal with this life-threatening problem? Well, it has an incredibly elegant and super efficient solution, a dedicated detox plant that's located right inside your liver. And this is it, the urea cycle. Now, I know it looks complicated, but the core idea is actually really simple. This amazing piece of biochemical machinery in your liver grabs that toxic ammonia, combines it with some carbon dioxide, and runs it through this 5-step cycle. And what comes out the other end? Urea, a much, much safer compound that dissolves in water, which means your kidneys can easily filter it out of your blood and get rid of it in your urine. It's just a brilliant waste disposal system. And just how important is this one cycle? It's everything. The urea cycle handles about 90% of all the surplus nitrogen your body needs to get rid of. It's not just important, it is absolutely fundamentally essential for survival.
So this whole system, from digestion to detoxification, is just a masterpiece of biological engineering. But it's also incredibly delicate. If just one part of this intricate machine breaks down, the consequences can be devastating.
So let's really think about that for a second. What actually happens if just one of these highly specialized enzymes in one of these critical pathways we've been talking about is broken, right from birth? Well, that brings us to the very real story of a genetic disorder called phenylketonuria, or PKU. In people with PKU, the specific enzyme that's supposed to convert one amino acid, phenylalanine, into another one, tyrosine, is just missing. It doesn't work. So as you can see here, instead of going down the normal path, the phenylalanine just builds up and is forced down a different, toxic pathway. And the consequences of this single broken enzyme are severe. If it's not treated, this toxic buildup leads to profound intellectual disabilities, seizures, and, because the pigment melanin can't be made properly, very fair skin and hair. This is exactly why every single newborn is screened for PKU. It's a stark reminder of how absolutely critical every single step in these pathways really is. So from a simple meal to this incredibly complex network of building, energy production, and detoxification, the journey of protein is just absolutely central to our health. And even the waste products tell a fascinating story. Remember creatine, the high-energy molecule in our muscles? Well, its breakdown product is something called creatinine. It's produced at a pretty constant rate, and it's cleared out by the kidneys. So when your doctor measures the creatinine level in your blood, they're getting a direct window into not just your muscle health, but crucially, how well your kidneys are doing their vital job. It really makes you wonder, what other secrets are hiding in our everyday biochemistry?